When a player scores 3 goals, they have a hat trick. But when they score 6, did you know they call it a sock trick? Gary Gates scored 6 goals for the Colorado Mammoth at one point in his professional career, and it was so impressive the fans just threw socks at him. Syracuse football head coach Dino Babers is done. It's here tomorrow, where SU Athletics Director John Wildhack is set to announce the 8th-year head man was fired, effective immediately. Entenmann teleported from the pipe behind me all the way over to the near pipe to stuff a shot of Syracuse's Jake Stevens. Some people here didn't even think it was a save in real time. Other people are already calling it the save of the year. Liam, what do you think?
I kind of got lucky with that one. I'm happy I made that one. I felt like it wasn't my best day overall today.
And 0 skill players drafted into the NFL. For a coach that prided himself on his offensive prowess at previous stops like Eastern Illinois and Bowling Green, and said that Syracuse was the new fast, after 8 years on the Hill, Dino Babers' time has passed. Reporting from the Lally Athletic Complex, Ian Nicholas, Citrus TV.
It was easy to get that chin up after that.
Why do you think this team was able to carry that same mindset even after falling behind 5-0?
We got some fight in this. Like every game we've lost since I've been here, we've made a comeback.
I think the one thing that could set people apart is their confidence and the way they play.
So you've been playing really well as of late. Somebody who also played really well for Orleans, your head coach at the University of San Diego, Brock Ungricht. He played for this team in 2005. He won a championship. What did he say about that when he heard you were going to be a Firebird?
He was happy. He wanted me out here so bad, and he just wanted me to have the best time out here like he did. So
what do you enjoy most about the Orleans experience? And did your coach tell you anything about what to do when you were here at Eldridge Park?
Yeah, he told me to enjoy the field as much as I can.
He kind of carved through us the first 2 innings. He kind of made me look stupid. So, clearly he's a good pitcher. But we know that we're a good hitting team, and we were just able to string a couple together there.
Just talking about the mental side of things, when somebody does make you maybe look a little bit stupid, their stuff is really good, it catches you the first time around, how do you readjust mid-game and kind of keep your cool?
For me, I think the biggest thing is knowing that the elite players, they fail 7 out of 10 times.
I was in a YD uniform pitching here, so I hope I get the chance to pitch at home. That's all I want.
Is it kind of weird just pitching? Because I know last year, YD, the playoff win that ended Orleans' season, now you're helping Orleans make the playoff push. Is that weird at all?
Yes, it's definitely very weird. Coming here, you almost feel like a traitor.
Last time they beat number 1 was here in South Bend in 2017.
And they haven't beaten Notre Dame. Syracuse hasn't since 2018. 2 of the top 10 face-off men in the country in terms of face-off win percentage. Mason Cohn for the Orange and Will Lynch for the Irish. Meet in the middle. The draw underway, and Will Lynch lends it to himself as the Fighting Irish earn the opening possession of the game. The Irish in their all-white uniforms with the navy blue lettering and the gold trim and the chrome gold helmets as Kevin Corrigan's team sets up on the left end of the field. The Syracuse Orange, and they're all orange from top to bottom, including the chrome orange lids. Jordan Faison rips a shot from 10 yards straight away. A right-handed sidewinder that missed low into the left. Just half a minute into the contest, still scoreless. Backed up by 2-time Tewaaraton finalist Pat Kavanaugh, who takes it from X and wraps around the far side of the cage, defended by long pull Riley Figueres. Couple half spins, spinning towards his right down the far alley. Kavanaugh feeds it to the near side of goal line extended, and eventually the ball ends up in the stick of younger brother Chris Kavanaugh. Devin McClain, a misfired pass to Faison that trickles past the end line, and a turnover for the Fighting Irish on their first possession of the afternoon. Syracuse takes over, moving left to right. Still a scoreless battle, just a minute into this one.
Interesting to see Figueres on Pat Kavanaugh, Billy Dwan on Chris Kavanaugh, man-to-man defense for the first possession for Syracuse.
2 sophomores, and the latter, Billy Dwan, named to the midseason All-America list, one of 8 for Syracuse, tied for most in the country with the team they're playing today in Notre Dame as well as Duke. The Orange on the right end of the field, midfielder Sammy English dodging down the right alley. A high-to-low bouncer misses just past the right side of goalie Liam Entenmann. Backed up by Joey Spallina in Syracuse. Still scoreless, a minute and a half into the first quarter between number 3 SU and number 1 ND. English dodging from the top of the box. The Orange attacking the right cage. Behind the crease, Joey Spallina brings it above goal line extended far side and feeds to Michael Leo. Owen Hiltz passes behind the cage. A cutter in front, a behind the back, and a score! Syracuse strikes first against number 1, and Finn Thompson with the theatrics to make it 1-0 SU, not even 2 minutes in. 12th goal of the year for the sophomore, Finn Thompson. Quick ball movement for the Orange to make it 1-0 Syracuse.
Well, Chris Conlon, one of the starting defenders, had no pressure back behind cage on Christian Muley, and when you let Muley have an open look to pass in front, that gets Finn Thompson the open look. And how about the BTB to start it off?
So Muley with his 12th assist of the year, Thompson with his 12th goal against the number 2 scoring defense in the country in Notre Dame. Syracuse strikes first. But Notre Dame, thanks to a face-off violation on Mason Cone, wins its second straight draw to open this thing up. So the Fighting Irish back on the left end of the field. Behind the cage is Carter Parlett, the senior. Short stick DeMitty got caught on the offensive end and now subs out. The Fighting Irish, the top scoring offense in the country at over 17 goals a game. Will Angrick dodging from the top of the box. Feeds behind the cage to Pat Kavanaugh. Near side, Riley Gray. And up top to Pat Kavanaugh. Defended by the short stick, Carter Rice. Dodging left on Kavanaugh. He rips a righty sidewinder that misses low into the left. And it stays 1-0 Syracuse. 2.5 minutes into the first quarter, but the Irish back it up. Ball in the stick of Chris Kavanaugh.
Mismatch there to get Pat Kavanaugh on a short stick. Syracuse dodges the bullet.
Riley Gray gets the short stick matchup and lands it right in the bottom right corner. Blowing by Vinny Trujillo on the near side of goal line extended. And Gray makes it knotted up at 1. 2.5 minutes into the first quarter from South Bend. Alyssa Latham on for the tip for Syracuse. And the freshman wins it easily to Elena Rice, the 5th year, as the Orange start with possession. The last time the Blue Devils were in the Dome, they lost by over 50 to the Orange, as DeAsia Fair misses the 3, and Alyssa Latham loses it down low.
Well, that was a different year for Syracuse. That was a different team in many facets. Syracuse a lot better now, too.
3 returning starters for this Central Connecticut team, including Lanfer and the big Kennefic, as Central Connecticut turns it over quickly on its first possession. Kennefic, the senior from just outside of Washington, D.C., can't corral it in the near corner. Meanwhile, for Syracuse, DeAsia Fair back, as well as Elena Rice. But 3 new players, a couple freshmen in Latham and Burrows, and the transfer from Michigan in Verajal make up the starting 5. Verajal holds top of the key. And DeAsia Fair, the All-ACC preseason member, launches it over to the Australian, Sophie Burrows. Rice, a runner, planks off the back iron. Latham loses control and snatched away by Emma Broom.
This was an early problem for Syracuse against Lafayette. Neither team scored for about the first 2 minutes of action.
Syracuse went on to win that game 75-41 on Tuesday, after the slow start where the Leopards led for the first half of the first quarter. Central Connecticut, meanwhile, off the heels of a 17-point loss to Manhattan. Shot clock down to 5, and Verajal draws the charge against Kennefic. Big on big crime.
And she gets her feet set really late in it. There you go. That's a textbook charge. Felicia Leggett-Jack said that Verajal is someone she's still working back into shape, so it's really promising for Syracuse to see her make such an aggressive play this early on.
Well, the reason she's working herself back into shape as she thinks about the 3 is the grad student, originally from Michigan, did not play at all for the Wolverines a season ago and has not played much over her last 2 collegiate seasons. Burrows for 3, and she banks it in. First points of the first game of his season a few days ago. Deja vu here in the Dome on a Friday night. That's exactly what she does, Jesse. Made
Really?
4 threes in that game on Tuesday.
Really easy to count on her. One of the top players coming out of Australia for her class.
One of 2 freshmen getting the starting nod for the Orange today. Kennefic, the big with the corner 3, and she converts. First 3-pointer on the year for the native of Oakton, Virginia. And only the second 3 through 2 games for Central Connecticut. They only shot 1 of 17 from distance on Monday. Latham, the turnaround, too strong. Amaya Williams, the native of Syracuse, brings it up the floor. Whips it to Kennefic, but deflected on the way. Verajao tussles again with Kennefic and a jump ball.
Well, there's that aggression again for Verajao. Working her back into shape. Mentally, it looks like she's already there.
Verajao, originally from Vitória, a city in southeast Brazil. Spent 4 years at Michigan, but didn't play for the Wolverines last year. Helped Michigan get to the Sweet 16 2 years ago. Kennefic again. The Bigs showing their range early on. And Kennefic, all 5 of the Blue Devils' points as they lead.
She started every game last year.
Verajao hasn't started much over the last few years, but you couldn't tell there. Scored 3 points in the opener and already has 2 to tie it up a few minutes into the first quarter. Samora Watson, the transfer of East Carolina, spins to the block, and there she travels. She might have played over 30 minutes in the first game of the year for CCSU, Jesse, on Monday against Manhattan, but Watson only played 7 total minutes a year ago with ECU.
Yeah, plenty of career highs for her in that game. I mean, 15 points. She had never scored more. She had never gotten double digits before.
Verajao on the block. Cross-court feed. Catch and shoot 3. Airmailed by Burrows. Did make 4 triples in an exhibition win against St. Rose last week, but the Australian only shot 2 of 7 from distance on Tuesday against the Leopards. Emma Bruin gets it over to Belle Lanford, the star of this team, denied by the freshman Alyssa Latham. In transition, here's Elena Rice. The Florida native gets it back to Burrows with a lot of room, and she makes it look easy. Burrows, her second basket.
Really impressive use of space there. She took a pick, found herself with no one around, and it was an easy decision for her to shoot that.
Quiet start for Deasia Fair. She's only shot the ball once and is scoreless. Watson off a pick. Gets it right to the wrong team. Good pass ahead to, guess who? Deasia Fair. Burrows finds her, and Syracuse up by 4.
That transition offense for Syracuse is something that could really play in key later on. It was a struggle last season, a lot of times missing on those breakaways with that tight defense coming from behind. Not afraid of the threat this time.
Syracuse on a 6-0 run over the last 90 seconds, settling in, trying to pick up its 5th straight all-time win against the Blue Devils. Watson bricks a 3 from the corner. She shot the ball over 20 times on Monday. Deasia Fair's got the green light, and that's why. Back-to-back buckets for the preseason All-ACC teamer in the orange on a 9-0 run as Vacuse lead by 7 halfway through the first quarter. Syracuse trying to win its 26th straight exhibition game, and it has a 22-point lead at the half against Division II Damon from the JMA Dome. Thanks so much for joining us at the ACC Network Extra Halftime Show. Ian Nicholas alongside the former Syracuse men's basketball player, Eric Diefendorf. And Eric, you were talking about it all throughout the half. Some deja vu.
Fast pace. It looks like the Syracuse of old, getting up and down.
Well, they got a player they've never had before, Naheem McLeod, 7'4" transfer from Florida State, doing this early on, getting up and throwing it down. How about another new player, the Baldwinsville native, J.J. Starling, blowing by the defense, putting it in, but McLeod wasn't done, Eric.
Be aware of the shooters and do a better job of locating.
There's some location. Kyle Cupp, the Kansas transfer, nearly put that one in the back of the basket.
You know what? Even though it got blocked, and I like the attempt. He went up, he was aggressive, and he's setting the tone for the season going forward.
How about setting the tone there? He can shoot the ball, too, and he can raise the roof inside the JMA Dome. That's how Syracuse has built this 22-point lead. Claudia Copeland getting active in the passing lane. Look at that. Benny Williams.
We talked about the Syracuse of old. Those are some plays that you used to see when you saw Jerry McNamara, Carmelo Anthony, Hakeem Ward, and they're making plays for each other.
There's Naheem McLeod using that 7'4" frame to make a play defensively. And then getting out in transition, Syracuse has been doing a lot of this. There's a reason why Benny Williams, a lot of people thought maybe one and done when he got to this program. He has all the tools that NBA programs covet. And we really appreciate you coveting our coverage at the half from the JMA Dome. Syracuse leads by 22. We've got more for you on the other side here on ACC Network Extra.